Are you ready? If you want to know whether or not it's worth $44, you've been hearing a lot of hype, a lot of good reviews. I can tell you by the end of this video whether or not I think it's worth 44 bucks, and I'm going to share 5 things that you might want to know about it before you buy the Jones Road Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer. I will also be comparing it to the What the Foundation and showing you all kinds of different things that I really think is just going to help you figure out whether or not this is for you, plus the products that you might want to try instead. Without further ado, let's get into the review. I rhyme. Welcome back if you're a subscriber. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Britt. I created the Style Shaker. It's a guide to finding better products, better for you, your family, the planet. And I always keep it honest with you, fully transparent. The brand did send this in PR, but if you are a subscriber, you know PR has never really held me back from giving a panned review of a product. As a matter of fact, the Miracle Balm was one of those. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to talk about today, as I am actually wearing just the Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer, I'm wearing it with just that. I applied with fingers, and I'm going to talk about application methods. I'm not in love with how it looks right now, but I had to run out of the house early this morning, and I'll do some application. You'll see demo, wear test, all the rest of it. So ingredients, it's a pretty short list. Starts with water, as many do. It's cruelty-free, emollients, viscosity controllers up front. I like to use a website called Inky Decoder. It's really helpful. I know people have mentioned EWG. I don't use them anymore. I think they do a lot of fear mongering. However, mainly I don't do it because they never respond to my emails, and that drives me nuts. Yucca app. I don't think Yucca. And people love that. I don't love it, but that's another option for you. But it's out there. You have options. It helps you figure out what's inside. So like I said, viscosity controllers. This is a really nice creamy formula. It's not super creamy. There's still some silkiness to it, which makes me think, oh, there might be a silicone, or there are a lot of silicone alternatives that are out there now that really give that silky glide without having silicones. I don't prefer to use silicones mainly because, well, I'm trying to get away from all plastics, near to impossible, but my skin doesn't like it. So that's my reason. I'm not saying you should fear the silicone. I am not a cosmetic chemist. Never claimed to be. Do your own research if you'd like to there, but there is a silicone inside. I'm not going to pronounce it because it's pretty hard to pronounce. Skin's been really off and on lately, to be honest with you. It's just, I guess after testing thousands of products, it just gets sensitive. It's turning into more reactive skin, that's for sure. So I'm really careful about patch testing before I try anything. This hasn't, I think, caused any reaction. This is big. It also contains sodium hyaluronate. That's sarcasm because it's in everything now. Whatever. Vitamin E is also inside, and titanium dioxide. They're fully transparent about what's inside of the product. There's nothing that's giving me massive red flags except for the silicones for me, but otherwise all good. Moving into the application. And this is where I like to play because this is really a make or break for most products. Sometimes it takes the right application to take something from a total flop into a favorite. It happens to me a lot still to this day. So this tinted moisturizer is kind of rare these days in the sense that it is a true tinted moisturizer. There's no sun protection in here. A lot of them are skincare first, or they boast a lot of skincare, skin loving ingredients. This has just a few, like I mentioned. So this is truly a light coverage product. It's kind of refreshing to see, but what that means is I'm going to want to put an SPF on underneath it. I'm going to use the Solara Fortune Teller. I really like this right now because it is effective, lightweight, doesn't feel greasy at all, and it doesn't usually affect what I put on top of it. So it's actually phenomenal for reviews because I get a clear read on what I'm putting on top. And for a tinted moisturizer, you're going to get moisturizer. You're going to get moisture. It's supposed to help your skin barrier retain moisture. You don't want to put on extra moisture, unless of course you do and you have really dry skin. There's also that. I already mentioned that I applied this with my fingers. There is a demo of that in the first impression video. I'll put a link to that below. I much prefer a brush. This is the brush that I like to use. Where are you? Where are you, my friend? This is the BK. You can do the 101. This is the 109. I just really like it. And then I'm just going to do a pea-sized amount here on there. Again, it feels great. It is not oily. It is not heavy. It glides, but it's not slippery or slick. It's got a great texture to it. I'm a texture person, so that's why I talk about it. Pressing this in is where it is at. The beige shade runs a little yellow on me. I don't like that at all, but it's also matching my What the Foundation shade. However, that doesn't skew as yellow, so I don't know. So I know that's why they probably sent it, or maybe I picked it out. I won't blame them. They're nice. Even compared to the beginning of this video, the evening out is beyond sheer. I think this gives you light coverage, as a tinted moisturizer should, or sheer. Some of them are purely sheer, but it presses in. It's pretty foolproof in my opinion once you get the right tool into the mix. I wouldn't use a sponge here. That's just me. I feel like that's going to lift too much of this product. Tinted moisturizer in my mind too is like easy, effortless, apply, get out the door, you know? So in my mind, for some reason, a sponge makes things complicated. I don't know, probably because I never use it. But there's barely a scent. I can't even smell anything. So that's great for you too if you do not like scents, which I don't usually like scents. But it gives a nice strong coverage here. So application couldn't have been easier once I found the brush. 5 out of 5 for that. Every score can go from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Highest possible score is a 20 out of 20. I don't know if I think I've given out 120 out of 20. Yeah, in the past 8 years. And that would have been on my Britt's Picks list for sure. That's where all of my favorites are. My current favorites, if you want to find them, there's a one-stop shop on the website. You can check that out. Let's talk about coverage again, even though I just did. Coverage and finish, how about that? And then I'm going to apply the What the Foundation on the left side of my face and do a little mini comparison. So coverage here, claim is that it's supposed to be a lightweight tinted moisturizer. Check, 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 check. You're right. Yes, correct. Agree. It is definitely lighter weight than the What the Foundation. This has a scent to it that I think some people are very turned off by. I don't mind it. It's a little on the herbaceous side. That was too much. You really don't need much of the What the Foundation. Dry skin types will probably gravitate a little bit more towards that. That's my guess, because it really does feel more hydrating, moisturizing. The Just Enough, I did try building it, by the way, and here, I'll buff this off into the towel. I did try building it. It builds nicely, but it's not really a product that's meant to be built, in my opinion. If you want to build it, build it. You go for it. But tinted moisturizer, again, just feels like that quick, easy summertime. You don't want something too heavy on your face, and you want to just get out there and live your best life. Sometimes you're like, I have got to run an errand. It's not always carpe diem, but this What the Foundation is almost cooling. I love how this feels going on, but you're gonna see that it is glowier. I pressed a little hard, so here, I'm gonna show you just something really quick here. I'm gonna layer the What the Foundation. I did press a little bit hard on the reddest spots because I was busy talking to you. The lightest touch goes a very long way. And then you're gonna see a little bit more of an evening out, which you would expect in the foundation versus the tinted moisturizer, right? So the tinted moisturizer, I will show you just how to build it, and the coverage for this, it really followed through on every claim. Again, it's winning on standing up to these claims, which is a big deal because that drives me crazy. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do, is just read those fun claims that are like, never creases, and it always creases, you know? So it's building. It's really a beautiful amount of coverage for a tinted moisturizer. It excels there. I'm not sure why. I'm looking at the review right now. I'm not sure why I gave it a 4 out of 5. I don't know. I'm debating on why I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I feel like it's doing strong things. But yeah, it's got a 4 out of 5. I might change that. We'll see. Finish. This is where the two are very different, and this might change what you want to do and what you don't want to do. So finish for the Just Enough versus the What the Foundation. Touch test. Tinted moisturizer side, you can still feel it, but it is a lot lighter. Less of a touch, less moisture to the touch. They're both lightweight. It's lighter. I can't feel as much moisture on this side. I can feel it on this side. A lot of people don't like to set with the foundation. If you have dry skin, you're gonna probably love this because you're gonna just drink it up. I like to set it. I usually use the Jones Road powder. This is a yellow powder. They have yellow powders everywhere. I really like that powder. However, because this was skewing yellow on me in the Tinted Moisturizer realm, I'm just going to use the RMS powder, the Hydra Setting Powder. I've been liking it. I really don't like the container. They're trying to be fancy to stamp RMS in here. I digress, but like you can't get the powder out. It's driving me nuts. It's like those little things. Silly, but not a deal breaker. It's just enough to make me go. So what I'm going to do here is set, and these both work well with pretty much every product that I throw at them. The claim here for the Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer is that you're going to look like you're not wearing anything at all. It's just going to be your skin, but better. Yes. Again, it's following through on that claim nicely. It looks very natural. There is a glow. You're going to see a glow, but it is a lighter glow than a lot of the other products out there. Look at how good this powder is, like, impressing me. I know this is not about the powder, but just saying. And the finish, when I get up close in natural light, it doesn't look crazy. It doesn't look wonky. Sorry, my eyeshadow. I just did my makeup way too fast this morning, and I don't like it. You ever have that? I'll start putting on some more stuff. I'll clean it up while I'm talking to you, but it is very natural. It does give a glow. It's not matte, but it's a very subtle glow. It's like, I look alive. And if it's humid where you are, you're going to like that. What the foundation to me is dewy. I think we're hitting dewy and not oily. I like what this is doing, but I always want to set it myself. Plus, after you set, depending on the powder you use, but after I set either of these, they do work with the powder. I'm not using a highly mattifying powder. It's just sort of airbrushing it a little bit. It's blurring it a little bit. It gives a nice effect, but you can still see the glow of the actual skin underneath. So yet again, these work very well with other products. I probably would not set the Just Enough Tinted Moisturizer with powder. However, I would incorporate another product in there, which I'm going to tell you. But first, 4 out of 5 for finish. A wonderful job. You see the difference between the two. So in terms of wear test, the finish stayed really nicely all day. The coverage, however, started to fade a bit. So here's the combination that I've been using, not necessarily with this specific product, but I would take a concealer. So before I would set, let's say I would put this on. I'll take this off. Okay, hold on. I want you to see the full thing. So let me just take this off of both sides, and I'll show you how I'm getting a little bit more coverage to even out redness. All right, so let's just pretend I put the Solara on underneath, and then I popped this on top. It's pretty quick, it's pretty easy, but my skin's been pinky on me. Not loving that. So I get this sheer to light layer of coverage. And this is just kind of a testament to how easy this is. It's very hard to mess up. If you're like, I don't know what to do with makeup, I think you'll be fine here. I really, really do. I believe in you. You can do this. I don't know what I'm doing half the time either, so join the club. But anyway, here's what I have found to work. If I'm looking at this, I have oil on underneath. That's why you're seeing a little bit more glow, FYI. But if I'm looking at this and I'm like, I need a little something else, I will take a concealer, a liquid concealer. This is the Sarah Creel concealer. I actually like this sometimes more on my face than I do under my eye. And I'll just do a little bit of that. Same brush, press it in. And she could use a little extra under eye concealing today. I'll take it. And because this is a formula that seems to work really well with whatever I throw at it, it almost works as like a little bit of an evening out prep. Does that make sense? And this combination has been nice for me. The cat's meowing. Come here, Blue. Also, my chin is really pink. I think I might be getting another reaction live on TV. How fun. So here you go. That is how I get a little bit more coverage out of this product without putting too much product on my face. You could do the tinted moisturizer and a powder. I just prefer this right now. You can even bring the powder in on top. To set it, You can also use cream foundations like the Sneaky Balm. That's a tint, but the Monica Blender I have right here. So anything like that, if you just want to press it somewhere else on the face, spot cover, I think it lends itself to that really nicely. And then I will pop some powder on top. But yeah, I think overall for the wear test, it did an okay job. It's just that coverage wasn't super fresh by the end of the day for me. I saw maybe a little bit of texture, nothing crazy. Just wasn't the best wear test, so it got a 3 out of 5. I'm just gonna finish the face and talk to you, give you some alternates you can check out. Total score is a 16 out of 20. It could very well be a 17 out of 20. Honestly, it is a really interesting product. The final verdict for this one, I never talked about their product packaging. I forgot to talk about that. So, hi, say hi. Blue's here. Product packaging really quickly as I finish this. I think this is net new plastic. They don't have any information on the site about that on the product page. They have it on another area. They use the FSC certified paper. They talk about their ingredient sourcing, which I appreciate. I do not see anything about good manufacturing processes, things like ethically sourced mica. They're good, but they're not like the greatest on communicating the prioritization of environmental impact in their business. So I'll take it, but I would love to see more. So I like to say they're getting there. They use a lot of plastic. I mean, we have giant bins of plastic for the Miracle Balm. Anyway, is it worth it? Final verdict for me, $44. I like the fact that this is a makeup first product. I like that. However, when it comes to a tinted moisturizer, the way that I wear them, I usually go for ones that have some sort of SPF in them. 9 times out of 10, you will hear me be the person that's like, can we get all the skincare out of all these products? Because it just gets a little muddy when you have a skincare routine and skincare and everything. But when it comes to light coverage products, I usually prefer them to be low maintenance, one and done, with sun protection, or I will wear a tinted sun protection product as my base. That's just how I roll. So I'm not really reaching for something like this in my life and how I wear makeup. I wasn't crazy about the beige shade. It skewed yellow on me, like I mentioned, so I wasn't loving that, but that's not the formula's fault. You get 1.69 fluid ounces, which shockingly is more than kind of a lot of what I'm seeing out there now. There might be a shrinkflation thing happen. I don't know. We don't know. It's wild times. It's up there for a tinted moisturizer, but Jones Road, you're going to pay that. You just have to use it. If you're using it, that's great. If it's monomaterial plastic, also pretty great. Easier to recycle. Would I buy more? The $1 million question. Once I finish this, would I buy more? Now, obviously it was gifted to me. I'm really enjoying this color, by the way. This is the RMS Hydro Blush in French Rosé. Such a pretty color. I love how I get rid of the pink and then I just put it right back. I probably wouldn't on this one because, like I mentioned, my tinted moisturizers, the ones that I tend to reach for, anything light coverage that I reach for usually has an SPF, so I primarily reach more towards tinted SPFs these days. It wasn't always like that. I really loved a couple of very solid tinted moisturizer, complexion first, like makeup first products in the beginning of when I started testing all of this. Some of those are the Lily Lolo BB cream. I think that's a great option. Inika BB cream. I think that formula shifted in a way that I wasn't a huge fan of, but that's another one I would recommend. And then overall, if you want to make a tinted moisturizer that's just makeup first, here you go. Take something like, this is the Typology 9 ingredient cream. They talk a lot about this cream being a mixer, so they're not wrong. This is a very easy, everyday moisturizer that's lightweight. You get yourself something like that. And then you can take something like a liquid foundation. I have the Juice Beauty on me, something that's not heavy, something that's lighter weight, maybe a little bit more on the matte side. And you just go like that and you blend. And now you have a tinted moisturizer. I recognize that I'm not the first person to invent that, but this feels actually amazing. I want to see what this goes on like. Granted, I have a full face of makeup, so I'm not going to do that right now. So there's your tinted moisturizer. I would still bring an SPF into the mix. Again, that's even if there's SPF in the foundation, you still wear the SPF. but that's an option too. You have so many options for tinted moisturizers. And it again depends on how you like to wear your makeup, everyday makeup, get out the door and live your best life. Oh, my skin is so much happier than when I started this video. Can I just put on a little lip oil? Let me know if you've tried this and what your thoughts are on it. I've heard primarily very positive reactions about this product. Wow, that is glossy. Whoa, whoa. Amicole lip gloss. Lip oil. Woo! Feels more like a gloss to me. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking, what's worked for you, maybe what hasn't worked for you, and some other tinted moisturizers that you might be liking instead. Or just tell me if you've tried it and you liked it. That's easy. That's all I have for today. I have tried other tinted moisturizers. I do have a roundup of my latest favorites that you can find right here if you don't want to go digging all around. I'll see you right back here real soon. The humidity is raging where I am. Anyway, I'll see you right back here real soon with another honest review. Until then, bye.